Hello everyone, this is Plunkera, and welcome to my universe. Last time, I finished the sleeves on her coat, so now it goes wee, and everything is just so bouncy and nice, and I am so happy. Look at her go. I really like the way it looks. And so all those changes are going to be on the model next to me here. Not that you can see a lot of them, unfortunately, but it is what it is. See, this is why I put most of my effort into the head. But physics are fun. So it's also why I'm continuing to do a bunch of body physics. And as much as I would want to finish off her coat today, it is not the time. No, it's not the time for coat. It is the time for shirt. Since I'm no longer really planning to do a proper coat toggle, I don't think I'm going to put a bunch of effort into the sleeves or anything, but I do want the arms to wiggle a little bit. Because, I mean, even with the coat on, you can see there's a little bit of wiggle in there, but it's still a little bit stiff. And I already feel like I have most of her regular shirt area looking pretty good. I don't really have anything I want to change there. So it's just a matter of getting those little spots that are visible throughout here and making all of those look nice. But I'm probably not going to worry about her shoulders that much. Just the stuff kind of down here. With enough wiggle up here that if it happens to show, it won't look strange. Let me see, am I a little too far to the side here? I think I am. Let me pull myself over here. Go sit a little closer to Shalom. There we go. Okay. So now I kind of have to decide what I want to do with the arms, and since part of the arms is covered by her hair, I'm gonna take away her head for a little bit. She doesn't need it right now. I'll give it back later. So, let's just get on in. So right now for the shirt physics, I think I only have, yeah, the collar, the shirt itself, and then a little bit on the arms. So let's do a little bit more on the arms here. I have decisions to make. I think I'm gonna let the arms wiggle at the elbow just a little bit. Right now I'm kind of wiggling the whole thing. So let's do a little bit of wiggle on the elbow, and I will call this arm elbow. And then I'll do the same thing kind of on her wrist, and then with some of her fingers. And we'll just do basic arm stuff first, and then I'll worry about the sleeves. But I think this will be pretty quick, because I just plan on doing rotations. But then I remember that I do not actually have the arm set up for that. So I am gonna set up the arms for that. Okay, we're not worried about the coat anymore, so I can actually minimize the entire coat. Ah, feels good. Okay, so we have arm. Let me add another node. This will be arm left elbow. And we will move this little guy here to be at about her elbow. Basically what this point is, or at least what I'm using it for, is this is going to be the point where the elbow rotates. So when I mess with the rotation sliders over here, this will be the origin point. Very important. And then in here, I don't think I have it separated out for the hand, yeah. And you will be left hand node. And I'm going to put that right at her wrist, so this way that will be where the hand rotates. And the fingers, I do not think need their own thing. I can rotate them pretty easily, although they are into 3 segments. I'll think about that for a second. Let me start organizing everything else. Okay, so we have you. You're just going to go in basic arm. You're actually going to be part of this. Then I have some fingers. This is part of the shirt, so you'll be in elbow. More elbow. Palm will be in hand, and yeah. I know that's wait. Okay, yeah, it just looks weird. I was confused for a second. I was like, wait, that looks like the thumb, but no, that's just the palm. Because the palm is mostly hidden by the rest of her hand, so this makes sense. I have to remember how my layers work now. Look, it's been a very long time since I've actually looked at her hand area. So we have a hand. Then we have this part. You know, I don't actually... Okay, no, you are connected fine. So I think you are actually going to be elbow territory, not hand territory. Okay, this is the majority of elbow. Go ahead and put you there. And you know what? These back parts, we'll go ahead and just stick them together too. Yes, there we go. And the button, I'll go ahead and... There we go. So now I just have all the fingers. I probably actually do want to be able to rotate all the fingers together. So, you know what? We will add proper finger support. So let me go ahead and add all of these nodes. This will be the left index finger. And his rotation point's going to be right about there. You know, I really should have done these backwards. Okay, well, I'll do that now. And what I mean by backwards is backwards relative to how I want them sorted in the layer list here, just so this way I don't have to do a bunch of reorganizing. So the next one will be thumb. Which is gonna be like over here. And I'll just slowly but surely add all the spots I need. I'm gonna rotate like right about there. And if I get it a little bit off, I can fix it. It's just kind of a pain. So I'm trying to get it right now. Okay, and I did specify finger on the first one. So I will put finger on the rest of them. I don't think I need to on the thumb. Sometimes I put finger on the thumb for consistency, but with the way I have it here, I don't think I need to. It is entirely arbitrary, but this is fine. Did I put you in place? I did not. Her fingers are so long. I didn't really get this kind of art perspective until I started studying some ideas from some Japanese artists. And the term they use for proportions is balance. Because, let's be real, a lot of the proportions in anime drawings are not really what we would call proportionate, but they feel right. And this is one of those cases. Let me type and then I'll continue, because I cannot type and talk at the same time. I am not capable of it. No, I do not need to turn on filter keys. Please do not mind that I just held down the shift button for like 30 seconds. Left middle finger. There we go. Okay. And yes, so what I was saying is I think that her fingers here are one of those cases, because they are quite long. Like, if you look at your hand, your fingers are not going to be that long. But I still think that they look pretty good. Like, it doesn't look bad at all to me. So, just goes to show that balance far more important than proportion. As long as it feels right, it's fine. That's why we also get anime girls with just like massive legs. Because it feels fine. It feels fine with that kind of disproportionate balance. So I kind of like that term to think about it rather than just proportion. Proportion to me has kind of a different connotation. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I think I got all this sorted nicely, so now I should actually be able to do just some super basic stuff with it. Okay. So, we're just gonna do some super basic movement around her elbow. Let me see, how do I want left and right to work? You know, in this case, up and down is actually easier, so I'll start there. We'll just slide this up just a little bit. I don't want anything too strong. Actually, I see that my layer order has her collar pieces on top of where her fingers should be, so I'm just gonna make sure they don't overlap. I'm not gonna try to fix it. I'm just gonna make sure they don't overlap. Then no one will know that I made that it's maybe not quite right. And honestly, I think that's fine. Okay, so what do I want to do for left and right here? Because I don't really think I want it to move to the left and right. Like, I think that might be a little weird. So I'm trying to think about what I want to do instead. So I do want something. What did I do for the arm? Actually, the arm was probably easier to think about in terms of left and right, because I just... presumably... yeah. Just moved it over a little bit. Okay, I have a choice to make here. And I clearly did not think this through. Because I have, like, an idea in my head, but I don't know about it. You know, let's just go. We rotate it a little bit, just a little bit. Maybe, like, yeah, here. And then I do, in fact, move it over just very slightly. Yeah, I don't think that looks bad. And then I just kind of do the opposite over here. And we move it up just very, very slightly. So this is probably going to need a really strong pendulum in order to look good, but I think that's okay. Just a little wiggle. Alright, and I guess I should... oh, but I have to set up the other arm still. Okay. But yes, the movement on this arm should also be there. It should exist. Alright, so I'll do the same thing over here. And I will call you right elbow. And I will drop this on over where I want the elbow to rotate, which I think is going to be probably about here. That looks like about where the elbow is. And then I called it hand, right? Yeah. So the next one is going to be hand. her wrist is... probably about here? I think that's fine. And then... I did not separate her fingers on this side. Okay. In that case, her fingers... they need their own... they might actually, just because I don't think this rotation point is going to work for me. But I gave these ones an actual mesh. Okay. I know what to do then. I'm not gonna worry about giving them their own node. Basically, if I wanted them to rotate at a different point than from the center of the texture here, I would have given them a node just so I could have that rotation point be somewhere. But because I meshed these, I can put in just a little bit of finger wiggle with some deformations instead. Deformations are overall more difficult than just rotating it, I would say. But I think for what I want to do here, that's just what I'm going to do. I think it'll be a little bit more straightforward for me. So let's start sorting everything. Just drop everything in. Oh, does she not have a thumb? I guess not. Oh, you know, I never noticed that I never noticed that she didn't have a thumb. Fascinating. Let me make sure that's actually how it's supposed to be. Yep. Literally no thumb. I guess it's kind of behind her hand here. Okay. You know, I think that's actually okay. It just caught me by surprise. Okay. And now this one's all sorted. Fortunately, that kind of sorting doesn't take too long. And I think deciding what to do for the left and right is actually going to be a little bit simpler here. Because I will literally just move it left and right. Although I might need to... yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust the code for this one. Oh man, really? I don't want to adjust the code. Can I move it just a little bit less than... but that barely moves at all. Okay. Wait, adjust the code. Adjusting the code's not that bad. It'll be okay. Okay, how do I need to move the code here? I just gotta be careful not to get lazy. Basically what it amounts to. And that is why we adjust the coat. Let me go ahead and hide the sleeve here just to make sure coat is fully and properly adjusted here. I do not want the shirt showing anywhere through here. And that probably looks weird. Yeah. Oh, sneeze. Phew. Hello there, TXT. How are you doing today? Alright, so it does look like I will have to adjust the belt loop just a little bit. Just because I do think it'll look a little bit strange if I have this part bulge but not the part right underneath it. So, like I said, gotta make sure I don't get lazy. That I do everything properly. But I don't think I really have to worry about this part so much. I think all here is fine. Aw. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a nice day. Thanks. I will do my best. And then I will move these just the slightest little bit. And I think that'll cover the change okay. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, I think that'll be good. I might need to adjust here. Where is the belt here? Yeah, I just kind of want to connect the upper and lower part here. Oh, just bring this out just a touch. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Just a slight bulge in her coat there to compensate for her arm moving a little bit. Okay, and now the coat can go away again. While I work on the rest. Actually, you know what? Since it is affecting it, I probably shouldn't. We'll leave it there. I'll be good. I just want to move it out of the way a bit so I can see a little bit better. And in this case, I will just turn it on and off. Just so that I can make sure that the elbow is moving well and it's lining up with her sleeve. Like, right now, I don't think it really is. Does it look a bit strange? Not that bad, actually. I don't think it's noticeable enough to be worth worrying about. Okay. And then up and down. How is up gonna work on this? I guess I'll just use parachute logic and move the elbow a little bit inward. I guess we'll move it just a touch upward. Much like what I was... no, a touch downward, actually. Okay, no, this case will go upward. Just kind of similar logic to what I was doing with left and right on the other arm. We'll just do a touch. And in this case, I want the movement to be small enough that I do not have to adjust the coat. Half laziness and half... I don't think it has to move that much. This angle. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna call that good. Okay, there I wanted to just adjust it so this way I wouldn't have to move the coat anymore, because I just didn't think I needed to. I think this amount is fine. And yeah, now I guess I can put it on the pendulum. So all of this will start going into the shirt area. Okay, I guess I've been putting shirt physics up at the top. Yeah, I see them. So this one, I will just give it the same name as the parameter. Which is going to be arm, elbow. I don't really care where it is. It can be wherever it wants to be. Can go wherever it would like to go. I will just leave the default settings for now. I will adjust them as necessary. So I already know that I have to move this one a lot. Because the physics themselves are pretty subtle, so I need to use, like, the full extent of them. I need to be reaching the very end here of the parameters in order for it to really show up at all. So I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna go, like, 120. So that should swing the pendulum around a lot. And in theory, wiggle her arms a bit. Let's see. There's nice wiggles. Yeah, that's some okay wiggling. What is going on here? I don't know. Is that a problem with the mesh? Like, look, there's like a little bit missing here for some reason. Okay, I'm gonna see if that's a problem with the mesh, or if something just... Oh yeah, it's because there's supposed to be a sleeve there. So it probably is a problem with the mesh. Well, regardless, that definitely should not be, so let's see if I am having a spot that is not properly triangulated here. It all seems fine. Even right here. That is a bizarre shape, though. So this... Normally I would just have everything going all the way across there. Okay, I see. So no, that's not a problem with the mesh. That's a problem with the rigging. I actually will fix that. Strictly speaking, I don't think it's necessary, but it's... that's really bad. So I just want to go ahead and seal that back up there. Okay. Let's turn her sleeve back on. I like the way it looks, but her arm does clip a little bit when I swing her to the other side here. And right now it's a bit too swingy. So I think I might be able to fix both of those by just increasing the damping a little bit. This will make it so it doesn't swing around quite as much. So it'll add just like a little wiggle to her arms, as opposed to a full-on swing. Okay, now I have to do a pretty extreme motion in order to see the arm at all there, so I think this is probably fine. Maybe it's not. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go and hide her sleeve again. And I'm gonna go into both of my arm physics layers. So we have the basic. Wait. Oh, I see. Well, that would explain it. I just didn't move the coat right on this layer. I guess I never hid the arm. Yeah, that would do it. Good. Maybe this will be easier than I thought it was gonna be. I thought I was gonna have to pull some shenanigans. But if it's just I literally just did not do it for some reason, then, you know, there's no problems here. I just fix it. Okay, cool. Mistakes were made, but it's okay. I will make it right. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes. And you know what? While I'm here, I'm gonna make sure that, yeah, upper and lower appear to be connected. Which is good. So let me check the other angles. Yeah, I just didn't properly do that. Well. Okay, I will actually check to see if this fixes all of the issues I was having. Because it's very possible that this was the only problem. I just did not take away the sleeves. And did not see what it would look like underneath them. You know, easy mistake to make. Sometimes it's easy to forget that when you're rigging stuff, you actually have to care about what's underneath. Otherwise, unexpected things will happen. Very unexpected things indeed. And it actually looks like I need to fix the lapel shadow here. I'm gonna do that too. And what layer is that anyway? Okay, there he is. Alright, just smoothing some of this out. I feel like the shadow here is fine. So now I can just go through and smooth up this one. Make everything nice and smooth. Because here things did get a little bit crunchy. Okay, no, you gotta stay that far out. So when I was first noticing that issue, when I had assumed that I had properly covered everything, my plan was that I was thinking that maybe I just didn't extend the coat far enough out, and so in certain frames, it could just pop through. And so I was just gonna make the coat move a little bit further away from the arm. That was the idea that I had, but it turns out that the actual problem was much simpler. So I can just do this, and everything should be fine now. This is the importance of properly rigging your parameters. Okay, let's put the sleeve back on. And indeed, now the arm does not clip through. There is not a single place that the arm clips. Okay, so that was just the issue. For whatever reason, I did not check underneath the sleeve. Okay, and I already like the changes to the arms. I think that they are a bit more energetic and interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the collection of shirt physics, since I'm putting the arms in there too. And then I would like to do the next arm-based layer, which is going to be her wrist. What was my naming scheme for these? Arm elbow, arm basic. Okay, so this will be arm wrist. No. There we go. Clicked on the wrong group there. Arm wrist physics. There we go. And this one should also be pretty straightforward since I'm mostly just doing rotations. Okay, sure, we can do that hand first. So we'll just... I need to hide the coat for a second. Just do a slight rotation here. I'm even actually gonna hide the... Did I just hide the cuff here? No, not really. Okay, in that case, I can do whatever the heck I want. I can do whatever I want. I don't think I want her wrist moving quite that much, though. And we'll just push it a touch that way. And then I'm going to put the coat back on just so I can gauge how far this is moving relative to everything else. Okay, I think that's about what I want. So I will do the same on this side. So let's say for this one, I guess I'll move it a little out, kind of like this. I think that has kind of a leftward momentum to it. Okay, this one actually connects pretty precisely, so I'm not sure if I want to move it super literally. Okay, no, I can get away with it. I can probably move it like 2. Because I like that it shows about the same amount of skin right there. But I will need to adjust the arm if I do this. Let's see if it will allow me. Okay, good. I did mesh this. I actually wasn't sure if I did. But there we go. Now it is attached. Okay, so we got a little wiggle there, and I think that's fine. So now I will do the other side. Not going for a lot of wiggle here. Just a little bit. And all this will do is just make things look a little bit more interesting. Alright, I don't really know what I want to do with up and down here, so I'll just do parachute logic, I guess, where this will go in. I'll just move it up instead of down. We'll only move it in just a little bit. This one I can move up because that does kind of move her hand up a little. Yeah, and I think that should look pretty good once I actually connect her arm. Why did I mesh this so finely? Oh, it's alright. Okay, and then down Just kind of... Oops. I did not mean to grab the elbow there. I meant to grab the hand. There we go. Oh no, I didn't even grab the elbow. I grabbed the entire arm. Oh no. Quite the misclick. I'll just move it down a little. Then just one little spot left. Let's get the right hand here. And it'll go down just a touch and a little bit outward. Just a little bit. Okay. Let's see how that looks before I put it on a pendulum. Looks like the corners need a little bit of help here. Because it doesn't look like the arm is quite connected. Oh, well, that's just because the arm isn't connected here. Makes sense. Does make sense that if it is not properly connected in one area, then the corner that is based on that area would also be incorrect. So let's go ahead and fix that. Go ahead and check my 4 angles here. Okay, I think I can actually be a little bit more accurate with my arm here. Because it looks like I have the base bandage-like thing on her hand matching with the top on her arm. So I think if I cover up, make it so that these 2 lines are on top of each other, things will look a bit nicer. And I think it is perfectly fine for these bandages to stretch a little bit. Totally fine. And now I just want to clean that up slightly. There we go. Okay, so that should all be a little bit cleaner. Let me stay zoomed in just so I can check the corners here. Now, I still don't quite like some things here. I think I meshed the hand. So I can tuck this in a little bit. Okay, checking the corners is letting me know that I missed a lot of things while trying to do this. Lots of little things. But the little things matter, so I should check them. The little things really do matter. Don't neglect them. See, I don't quite like the way that looks. Let me see if I can make that look a little bit better here. Some things I can really only tell that I don't like them once they're in motion. So it is important to go through and actually check how they move before I attach them to pendulums and turn them into physics. Because, I mean, you just saw with that the basic arm parameter where I had to adjust the coat a little bit, and I did not adjust the coat properly. And I had part of her sleeve clipping through it. So that just goes to show that you gotta check these things before you turn them into physics. Because if they look bad here, they'll look bad as physics too. Physics are a fun time, but nonetheless, I think they should be taken seriously as anything else. Okay, and then the rest of this is just, I need to fix corners. Got a little bulge here that I think is kind of ugly, so I will tuck that in. And I will go ahead and check the other hand once I am confident in all my deformations here. So this is why I said deforming things is way more difficult than transforming things, but sometimes it's the most appropriate thing to do. Okay, and I think the wiggles in there are fine now. So let me go check this one. Yeah, it's just doing its thing. And I even think the shadow kind of wiggling with it is fine. If I was being an ultra perfectionist, maybe I'd move it with the what do you call that? The cuff of the sleeve. But this is fine. For what this is fine. Okay. So that should add a little bit more liveliness to her wrists. Arm, wrist physics. So let's put some things on here. This will be a spring pendulum. And I think I'm actually going to up the damping now, just because I know that I don't want them to be bouncy. I just want a little bit of wiggle. Alright, now let's move it around. We'll just send it on over. Okay. And now there should be a little bit of wiggle. Yeah. See how that just a little bit of wiggling makes it look more natural? You don't need to do anything super special, just make it so it's not so stiff. Because nobody's body is perfectly still like that. So just adding the smallest little bit of wiggle can really help. Look at her go. I love this model. I'm so glad I decided to make it. I know it's taken me like a year to do it because I only work on it on stream. But I'm really glad that I decided to make it. Don't worry, I'll improve my skills a little bit off stream so that this way hopefully I can go a little faster. I can already tell you what I have here is way better than what I put into my personal model here. So, if I ever decide to upgrade my model, I'm going to be able to do some cool stuff, and I'm very excited. I am. And hopefully the next time I make one, it won't take me quite as long. Okay, let's do her fingers. Stick wrists in there, and now we will do arm, fingers. And this will be the last thing controlling her arms. The rest is just going to be making her sleeves wiggle. And for that, I will take off the coat, at least at first. But for fingers, nah. Okay, so left, right. I'm gonna kind of straighten her fingers a little bit. Straighten and curl. That's kind of what I'm planning on. So for this guy, we'll kind of straighten it out this way a little bit. We'll do quite a lot, actually. And reattach it to her hand. And I would like to straighten out this part of her finger, too. So you can see rotation is not quite as free when I don't have the node in a good place. Okay, now I just need to get them to match up properly. I think that's about right. Looks like the colors... The bottom part, not so much. Let me... Okay, now that's just how it looks. It's moving entirely correctly. I am totally happy with that. Because, yeah, it is a little bit off here, too. Okay. So that wasn't me doing anything wrong here. So we'll straighten out this finger just a bit. I'll move a little bit differently, just because I'm trying to make her fingers straight, not necessarily all moving in the same direction. That is my vision for this little finger curl here. Yeah, some of them have to rotate quite a lot for me to do what I want here. Okay. So we'll see if this ends up looking good. I think I'm just gonna do the left hand all at once and then go for the right hand, because the right hand is gonna require some slightly different shenanigans. And once again, you can see that the rotation point is in the center of the texture. This might have been a little bit easier if I put each segment into its own node. But, you know, this is fine. Let me see. Where do you meet up? Oh-ho. I might not be able to straighten this one out as much as I want to. Just because it was not meant to be connected like that. Okay. This one will need a slight bend, just because of how it was drawn. I cannot fully straighten out this one. That's alright. Little bit more straightening out will still get the effect that I want. You can see even here, the fingers are still bent. I'll just make it a little bit less bent. This is one of those cases where it might have actually been easier if I did not fully cut out each segment and kept it on one layer, just because, man, it might have been easier just to deform this instead of transforming it like this. Okay, I'll show you the difference with the other hand. You can kind of get a feel for what I'm talking about. I think that'll be easier than trying to describe the pros and cons of each here. And you can see once you start rotating things, especially once they rotate a lot, moving things perfectly horizontally or vertically becomes difficult. So I'm kind of guessing on where they need to go. Alright, let's take off her coat here. Just so I can see the thumb a little bit better. Because I want him to rotate out a bit too. Can't really see the thumb, so I'm just gonna leave it. Well, no, I don't want to just leave it like that. Let's hide a few layers, this way I can do it properly. I was gonna say, we can just leave it like that, but you know what? The thumb's important too. We shouldn't completely ignore it. Alright, how is this? Okay, I don't have the pinky in the right spot. But everything else looks pretty good. Little finger wiggle. Okay, this segment is not in the right spot. Okay, so I need to adjust the pinky. No, the pinky has to... Let's see here. Let's see here. Because I also needed to attach to the hand in the right spot. Otherwise, it's gonna look a little weird. Okay, I might not be able to turn the pinky quite that much either. So let's let him be just a little bit more bent. Maybe I can get away with deforming the hand a little bit. Might have to. Okay. So you can see that now there's a huge gap between the pinky and the hand. That's what I was talking about there. Let's just connect them. Okay, and then the other part was this segment was not attached to the hand that, or the rest of the finger that it's supposed to connect to. Needs to be further out. Me underestimating how long Shalom's fingers are in this. The fingers, they are quite long. Yeah, this seems fine. Look at him wiggle. I think this will look pretty nice once it's done. Okay, and so now I'll start doing the right side. And for that, I'm gonna actually do the opposite, and I'm gonna let her fingers curl a little. I think the location for the base of her index finger is fine, so I'm just gonna curl the finger a little bit here. Okay. Like, rotate this one all the way around. We'll see if it actually attaches like this. I will do my best, but... Okay, yeah. I think that's fine. Although here it looks a bit weird. So might not quite be able to do that, but, you know, general idea. Let's just weaken it a little bit, so hopefully I can get it to connect a little bit more nicely. I guess like that is fine. And let's see, for the middle finger, I think I want it to go upward just a touch. Kind of like this. And then I will curl the rest. And as for what you can do with the hands and fingers and stuff here, it's pretty much whatever you want. You're pretty free to just do whatever looks nice in your head. This is just some super basic movements to make things more lively. I just decided to do have the fingers going as straighter on that direction, curled on this direction, and then up here I'm just gonna have them do something else. I haven't completely decided yet. I have some idea, but have not completely decided yet. Send this finger down just a touch. I'm actually gonna hide the pinky while I do this. But since this just adds a little bit more liveliness to the movement, exactly what it does is not actually that important. The important part is just that it does something. Or at least that is my opinion. Okay. And pinky time. I'll let him curl down just a little bit more too. Honestly, probably didn't need to mesh like any of these. Something to keep in mind for the future. Or rather, I should say, I probably should have kept all of these on one layer, put them in one mesh, and then just flexed them a little bit. Oh yeah, I remember why I fully cut this. Because initially I wanted to do a thing where I had her bring her hand up to her mouth. And I would not be able to do that if I didn't have the fingers separated at least somewhat. May or may not do that. Alright, let's get the thumb. Although, does that look okay? Yes, it does. I just wasn't sure if it did at first, but it was fine. Alright, let's test this side now. Once again, I think I have to move the hand a little bit. But otherwise, I think it's looking good. Just a little bit of finger movement. I like it. I like it quite a lot. And a little bit of extra fold in her hand there. Okay, I think I have the pinky going a little bit too low. Let's just put him back up. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So what do I want to do for up and down? Okay, so I think for up, I'm just gonna have her tilt all her fingers slightly upward. So kind of like this. And I'll probably end up straightening her fingers a little bit, but I just want to start getting the movement here a little bit. And then when they go down, I can let her curl her fingers a little bit more again. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Is that enough? I think I want to do a little bit more. I'm just kind of trying to get the overall feel that I'm going for here before I start getting hardcore into how the fingers are going to straighten out. Like I said, I had some idea, but I wasn't entirely sure. Okay, I think that should be enough. I'll worry about the thumb after. The thumb is mostly covered, so I'm not, like, overly concerned about it. It'll be fine pretty much no matter what I do with it, so... As long as I'm doing something. Okay, I can't straighten out the middle portion quite that much. 'Cause otherwise, I can't get the tip to line up properly. I need to... Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Don't need to be too bothered by most of this. I can just kind of do what I want. It's kind of relaxing, actually. Okay. Just a few more fingers. Oh yeah, this one's kind of hard to straighten out, isn't it? I think that's okay. Not quite. I accidentally broke her finger. I feel like that's kind of rude of me, so let's go ahead and get that back on. Okay, it looks a little weird, but that's just how the finger's drawn, so I guess I'll call that good. Let's see if we can get the pinky to cover up part of that and help it out. Let's see if we can let the pinky just cover part of that like it did in the original. I guess not, actually. I guess it's fine. I don't think it looks, like, awful or anything, so... Okay. I'll see how it looks in motion, but let's let the thumb do a thing or two first. Thumb is at least nice and easy. Only 2 segments. Okay. I think I need to raise the pinky just a touch here. Just not quite in the right place here. Okay, there we go. And then, of course, I need to reattach her hand, but I want to make sure the finger movement is good before I worry about such things. Okay, minor adjustments here. I see that the middle finger is no longer attached to her hand. And if that's moving, then the other fingers probably have to move up a little bit too. Yeah, that's better. Actually, I think I lifted this up too much. Maybe it only needs to go that high. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let's attach her hand and then just one more. Actually, for this one, I think I need to attach her palm, too. Wasn't really relevant on the other side, but I can see the edge of it, and it looks a bit strange. So, let's do that. Doesn't take much. Just a slight adjustment upward, and I think all is well. And I actually think that the thumb needs to come to the left just a click there. Okay, seems good. So now I will do the opposite with my lower turn. We will curl the fingers down just a bit. And I will let them curl inward a bit. I'm gonna, once again, kind of get the general feel first. See how much I want to push them down. Make sure they're all attached to the hand properly, since I was not paying enough attention to that last time. Oops. Right, we're rotating. I probably will have to move it down afterwards, but let's get the rotation in first. Order of operations. Very important. Okay, I think that's a pretty good amount of rotation. It doesn't need to move along that much. Okay. Let's curl her fingers a little bit. Okay, yeah, I think that's all right. It doesn't need to curl that much, and that finger was quite straight to begin with, so I think just a little bit of curl is fine. Do I want to do more? Maybe a little more. Let's see if I can do a little bit more than that. That really is just a very, very small amount of curl. It's okay. Starting from a simpler form and then moving to a more extreme form is a pretty reasonable way to do things, I think. Yeah, I think that's good. So I'll just do one little segment at a time here. Curl it a bit, move it into place. And then do the next one, because it'll be floating out in the middle of nowhere until I decide to fix it. We do not need disembodied fingers here. I'm here to make a nice model, not give people nightmares. Actually gonna hide the pinky for this one. At least until I get it into place. Okay, can't do it quite that much. I need to make sure that it still lines up with the joint here. Okay, and I don't feel like this segment is quite connected right. Which will also make the point not quite connected right, but that's okay. We'll just fix that guy right after. Okay, that should be good. And now I can turn the pinky back on and do the same thing here. Let's do some rotations, push it into place, and have things all be well. Honestly, it's been kind of fun jumping between all the different things I'd had to do to make the arms look nice. I feel like I've had a lot to talk about. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to describe what I'm doing for the entire time. I do not always have things to talk about. Or, you know, if I tried to narrate things step by step, I'd just end up repeating myself so much and it'd be kind of boring. But here, there's lots of different things happening, and it makes me happy. Alright, let's go do the thumb. The thumb, I actually have to hide this, the middle finger this time as well. Okay, so he'll go down, and then I will curl the tip. There we go. Nice and easy. And I'm almost certainly going to have to adjust the hand, but let me see how the fingers themselves are doing. Yeah, I think they look pretty good. Okay, let's fix the hand, and then I'll check the corners. There we go, hand attached. Perfect. Not sure what's going on here, but, okay, corners are gonna need some work. Oh my. Yeah. Corners need help. They have no idea what's going on. But I like it. I like this motion. I think it'll look really good once it's turned into a physic. Anyway, first things first, gotta fix that. That's no good at all. Okay, it looks like the index finger is mostly good. I'm just kind of trying to compare it to the original. I do think it'll look a little bit better if I move it a click upward, though. What upward means in terms of this translation, variable. Because I rotated it a lot. So what is up when you're rotated 42 degrees? Who knows? Math knows, but, you know, not me. So I'll just be going back and forth between the original and the corner. And making sure that I have all of the things connected. Man, I do not quite seem to know what is going on here. Trying to read where exactly this connects. Might actually need to rotate this one a little bit back here. Just due to how the shadows kind of shake out on it. Let me get this into place and then I'll go back to the original and explain a little bit. This one is proving to be a little bit tricky. Anyway, I think there should be fine. So basically on that finger, the reason it's so much darker is because it goes down. And when you have your fingers at that angle, this is getting hit by light, this plane. But then this is on a different plane. Because it's facing down, off to, like, this side, as opposed to this one, which is facing up. So, like, if you drew a line perpendicular with the plane here, that'll give you an idea of which direction it's facing, and you can see they are facing completely different directions, and so the light hits them differently. That's why this segment is so much darker, and I kind of have to be careful about where I put it. Because if I get it too close to facing the same direction, then the fact that this is so much darker will actually look really weird. And I think this is still facing the same direction as this plane a bit too much. Like this one's over here and this one's going over here now. So now that I've rotated a little bit more, it's doing a little bit better. Just one of those things you gotta be careful about. So art is funny like that. So it's the same with here, where right now it looks kind of funny, because they're both kind of mostly facing the same direction. So I need to curl this a little bit. Just enough so that it doesn't quite look like they're facing the exact same direction. And thus should have the same kind of shadows and highlights. But I think this is probably enough, because now this one's pointing this way and this one's pointing this way. Alright, let's reattach that thumb. I think the amount of rotation there is fine. I just need to get them to be actually connected. There we go. That should be fine. Yeah, all of them kind of have it bad, don't they? I think the index finger here is fine. I just need to fix the other ones. Why are you called? One of these did not get named right. Isn't it sad? Oh well. I made a surprising number of errors in my naming scheme. I'm a little bit sad. Because I actually did spend quite a lot of time going through all the layers and making sure I named them right. But, to be fair to me, it is hard to read and talk at the same time. So I was probably talking a little bit too much and not doing enough reading. Something to note for the future, the next time I do something like this. Be very, very careful. Alright, let me check on the thumb. Yeah, he's not quite connected. There we go. Oh yeah, it looks like all the corners are having some trouble, unfortunately. Oh, this actually... You know, I had been trying really hard to make sure that the pinky didn't overlap with the hand, but I actually think this looks pretty good. Maybe I shouldn't have tried so hard. Okay, well, I will leave it like that. Not this. This will not be left like that. But the way the fist is curling there, yeah. Yeah, I kind of dig it. I do not think I can curl that part quite that much. I like the idea, but it just does not quite line up. Deeply unfortunate. Yeah, in fact, how the heck am I gonna connect this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. It's getting there. Just had to plod around with it for a little bit before the way forward became clear. That is normal. That is very normal. Okay. Middle finger not doing too bad, but I do think that this segment has to come up a little bit, which means this segment has to come up a little bit. Yeah, that seems fine. Let me hide the pinky so I can actually see what's going on here. Yeah, and it's a good thing I did, because that's some shenanigans right there. Our fingers were not connected to each other. You know, since I was only using translations, I thought that everything would actually line up pretty well, but everything actually ended up being pretty far off. I am honestly surprised. Normally, using translations makes things work out for me a little bit more cleanly, but the math just didn't work out this time, I suppose. Okay, that seems pretty good. One more. Oh wait, I didn't check the thumb on here. I should definitely do that before I move on. Thumb seems fine. Okay, good. Okay, one more corner. Hand actually proving to be a little bit more of an adventure than I thought it would be. I mean, controlling fingers actually is pretty hard. There's just a lot to them, you know? There's a lot going on here. It's also part of why they're a little bit hard to draw. It's because we have a lot of manual control over our fingers, so they can do a lot of different things. One of the things that I started doing to give myself a better idea of how hands look is anytime I have insomnia and I'm just kind of laying in bed, I'll just make random hand poses and mess around with perspective in my head. And I actually do think it's helped. I also think it helps that the way I draw in general is more conducive to drawing weird shapes. And I think that's why I have way more trouble with arms than I do hands. There's just something about the tubiness of arms that just gets to me. Actually, I think this is correct. Okay, and now to check the thumb. There we go. Okay, that should be everything. I thought the hand looked fine in all of them. So let's give it a look. Oh yeah, look at those fingers go. Okay, there's actually one little issue with the thumb there. Okay. Just wanted to move it completely over to the side. I'm actually just checking out the thumb to make sure all is well there, because yeah, I think here it actually needs to be a little bit higher. So, once again, it's mostly corner problems. Okay, that seems pretty good. Look at her fingers go. I like them. Alright, let's do this hand. So this hand, I'm gonna do similar ideas. We're on the left. Let's see, do I want her to straighten out her fingers on the left here? I suppose so. I'll keep a similar idea. So this time, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the path to form, put it on her joints, and then kinda straighten out her fingers like this. This time they are all on one layer. And I need to move her skirt here. She don't need legs right now. It's fine. We can give her legs back later, you know? When we give her back her head. Okay, I'm gonna start over. Okay. I couldn't see what I was doing before, so I just want to start again. So we're just gonna straighten out this finger. Nose itchy again for some reason. I always hate it when that happens. Okay. And see, this is why I was kind of lamenting that I decided to separate them instead of just leaving them all on one layer, because, I mean, you can already see how much more straightforward this is. I have a bit more control when they're all separated, but I'm not doing anything that requires a bunch of precise finger control. I'm just not. So I think that separating them like that was probably overkill. Meshing it like this is a bit strange, though. I might actually have to redo this mesh. I have been very much resisting it, but I'm not sure what happened here. Like, there should have been another one right here, right? Past self, what were you doing? No, I can't work with the mesh like this. I see, that's what happened. Okay, there's nothing wrong with the mesh. I just may not be able to curl it that much. Or decurl it, as the case may be. So basically, I had it meshed like this. I just put all the triangles around the knuckle, and this is fine. But because I'm trying to stretch it out so much, this area got super stretched out, and it looks weird. So I may not be able to do quite as much as I was hoping. But I will try. I will try my best. Okay, so I shouldn't blame my past self here. This is just potentially limitations of not having them separated. And so now we really can see the pros and cons of one layer versus 3. I had way more control when I had the 3, but it was a bit more unwieldy to work with. So that is always the trade-off. Okay, I think that's probably about as straight as I'm going to be able to get those fingers here. Yep, that is probably about the best I can do. So now, on the right side, we will curl them a bit. So I'll just go through each finger again. And here we curl them a bit. Curling them is a bit easier than trying to stretch them out, so Hopefully this side will be a little bit easier on me. I'm kind of glad that I was able to see the pros and cons of both ways of doing things. This is a lot easier, though. When I don't want to do too much. Now, if I wanted to do my initial thought of where she brings her finger to her lips, then having them super separated is actually unquestionably the way to go. Because I need that much fine control in order to do a motion like that. But I might not end up doing that. We'll see how I feel at the end. If I have just a little bit more in me. Or if I feel like adding another probably 2 or 3 episodes. Okay, that seems alright. And what did I do for up again? With the fingers up, stretch out her fingers a little bit. Okay. That might be hard to do. The way I have this set up. Let me... No, I can do it. Okay. I just had to picture the motion in my head first. And what I think I need to do is so that it comes up this way, but the finger gets straighter. So it'll be kind of like this, I guess. So what it'll basically be is the top segment goes up, bottom segment comes down a little. And I think that'll look fine. That'll be a slightly different motion for the hand. Letting the top and bottom both do something a little bit different, and have it be a little bit different from what left and right are doing. Okay, here I do need to kind of straighten this out manually a bit. Just so her finger doesn't look too broken. And when I test this hand, I'm gonna put her coat back on just to make sure that there's no clipping. I don't expect there to be. I'm pretty sure the hand is far enough away, but, you know, we gotta check these things. Otherwise, we'll have that issue with the sleeve from the beginning, where it was clipping. That's just not something I want. I don't want clipping. Nobody likes clipping. Okay, that pinky does not look good. You know what? I'm actually just gonna redo that. Let's try again. Because that looked terrible. Absolutely terrible. It can be hard to tell when I'm just doing some quick stuff with the path to form on just how things look. But it looked like it was shrinking, and that was really bad. So we'll make it a bit meatier this time. Yeah, that's fine. Let me just tuck in a little vertex here. Pull out little vertices here, and I think that should be fine. Yeah, that's much better. Only a little wiggle, but I think that is sufficient wiggle. Okay, let's do the bottom. The bottom here, I moved them down and curled them a little bit. Okay. So, translated onto this hand, that would be I move the finger a little bit this way, and move this side to curl a little bit more. Another nice thing about having them divided and only moving things with transform is that I keep the proportion of the hand the same. Whereas here I kind of have to be careful that I don't stretch or squish things too much. Gotta be careful about that. Because I don't want to change the size of each finger, I just want to change their position a little bit. Okay, so over this way just a touch, and then we curl it a bit. Okay, I gotta fix this just a bit. When I look at it, it just feels like there's an extra knuckle in her finger there. Not even, like even on the default here, it just feels like there's an extra knuckle here somewhere. Alright, we send the pinky this way, and the bottom segment up. Perfect. Okay, and then I do a little bit of manual work to reconnect it to the hand. Alright, let's take a look at how it actually moves around now. Yeah, I feel like some of these are not quite connected to the hand. So let's fix that, and then I'll worry about the corners. And it does indeed look like the corners need a little bit of help. Looked like they were shrinking just a little bit here and there. And I want them to remain about the same size all the way through, so... Can't have that. Can't have them trying to be all shrinking on me. And then there's just a couple of places around here where I feel like the sizing is a bit off, and indeed, the fingers are shrinking just a little bit. So I will adjust some of that manually. It's okay, the path to form is very, very useful to help me get started. But I do often find when I use it, I do have to make some corrections. If I make any big movements, which, you know, if I'm using the path to form, I probably am. And I'm trying to fix up the 4 main directions before I go into the corners. Just because then the corners will adjust based on the adjustments that I made here. And hopefully I will have less adjustments to make because of it. That's the hope. Alright, let's take a look at these corners here. Oh my. And I have no idea what's going on with the finger here. Let me see, what are you? You are pinky or ring finger right. So we will do ring finger right. I am straight up gonna reset this. Oh wait. No, this wasn't the angle that I meant to do it on. I wanted to do it on this one. Oh yes, I will straight up reset that. And I really can't, actually. Okay, never mind. I want to reset it, but I'm not quite sure how to combine the two layers. So I guess I will just kind of have to feel out how it should look. Okay. I have some ideas. I think this is okay. It doesn't look too unnatural anymore. So now we'll just do something similar with the pinky. Okay, so when I was saying that the deformations here might be easier, I stand by that statement up until the corners here. Because, man, trying to figure out how to adjust the corners is actually not that easy. Oh yeah, maybe next time I will just divide the fingers regardless of how much I think they'll move. So that this way it'll be a little easier on me to figure out exactly how they should be moving. So I feel like I'm having to do some guessing with the corners here. Okay, but these fingers seem fine. And over here they're getting much smaller, which I also don't want. But it looks like most of the problems here are just from the fingers that were pre-curled. The ones that were straighter were pretty easy to deal with, so that's also a factor to keep in mind when thinking about how to separate the fingers. Okay. Just kind of talking through things to myself here. So this way I can figure out what to do next time I want to do a little bit of finger movement. Okay, I feel like these fingers are okay. And once again, it's just the ones that were curled. Okay, that might actually be the biggest factor here. Because the fact that I'm trying to uncurl some of these fingers is actually being a thing. Okay, and down here, these ones are getting way too big. But these two actually don't feel too bad, so we're just getting the mirror of what was going on in the other way, I suppose. Where in the upper turns, these guys were having troubles, and now maybe in the lower turns, it's gonna be the other two fingers that are having troubles. Wouldn't that be funny? Try to make them a little straighter, too. Make them look a little bit less sausage-like. Right now, they definitely do look very sausagey. Okay, that seems alright. Okay, and the only issue I really see here is that the ring finger here has no idea what's going on. Well, let's give the fingertip some space here. I guess it's a little bit sausagey up there, isn't it? Actually, now that I look at it, up here got a little bit smaller, so I kind of want to stretch this out just a little bit more. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay. Hands are hard in art, who knew? Seems to be a consistency no matter what medium you're working in. They got a lot going on. It's kind of like how I work when I work on the face. I've got a lot more moving around than I do in like any other part. It's very dense. And that also seems to be the case with hands. There we go, we got some wiggle. Actually, now that I look at it, I did not properly attach this finger to her hand. Okay, I better fix that. I better fix that before we turn this into a lovely little pendulum. And that's probably going to be a problem on some of the other nearby turns too, then. Okay, I think it's fine on the other side. So, let's take another look. Okay, yeah, I think that should be fine. Let's go ahead and put her coat back on just to make sure that there's no clipping. I do not expect there to be any clipping for this, though. Yep. All is well. Look at her go. Wiggling. Wiggling those fingers. Okay, we can give her legs back, too. And you know what? Let's give her a head, too. We'll just let her have her entire body back. Alright, let's give her a pendulum. Okay, and now, yeah, I'm gonna up the damping again. It's because we don't want them bouncing around. We want them to stop pretty quickly. And now I can just move this all around. And we'll make her wiggle. Okay. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, look at him go. Looks so much better than when they were just static. I am pleased. I like them a lot. I really do. I like them a lot. Okay, before I export this, I need to check something here. Because I changed something in Shalom's mouth. So here, I'm gonna come down here for just a second. And I'm not quite sure if I'm happy with how much Shalom's mouth is opening. So I will do... Oh wait, this isn't hers, this is me. Yes, I need to go away. I'm gonna hide in the corner for a moment. It's okay. You can just look at my shoulder and know that I'm here in spirit. But I don't want to import my settings until I am completely happy with how it all looks. Because I kind of feel like Why? Because this should be 0. And that means that this should be 0. So our mouth's gonna look strange for a second. No, that doesn't work, does it? How did I rig her mouth again? Its mouth open is Y, right? Okay, no, I do have it set. Be at -1. Alright. So yeah, her mouth's gonna be hanging open for a second. Don't worry about it. Okay, how's that? Is that a little bit better? Does her mouth open a little bit more thoroughly now? Yeah, I think so. Okay, cool. that was just something I was observing the whole time. Even now, I don't know. Let me lower these values a bit. See if that makes it a little bit smoother. Oh yeah, that does make it a little bit smoother. Most excellent. Okay. I'm happy now. Let me save these values. And I am gonna come back up now. Hello there. Since I have me on top, sometimes it's a little bit hard to actually click on Shalom when I need to adjust things. Yeah. I think we're good. She's gonna be a little bit more lively next time. And so that should be fun. Here I'm gonna go import my data here. Okay. So now I can just go and export this here. And this is where I will stop for today. So let me just go save everything, and next time we'll do her sleeves. And that'll be pretty much it for her upper body. Like, it's covered by my arm right now, but her belt will probably be showing even here. Like, if I scooch over just a little bit again. Yes, over here now. You can still kind of see her waist a little bit. So that'll be a little bit more physics there, but I might indulge myself and let myself just finish off the coat before I do that. I don't know. I have not decided. But regardless, sleeves next. But this is where I will stop for today, so thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.